The whole city was afraid because the Israelites were spying their country. You see, they were certainly going to overthrow it. So they were afraid because they had already heard how God had protected the Israelites and opened the Red Sea and did all of these moves in order for them to get ahead. Church, when the enemy sees you coming, the enemy should be afraid of you. He should be afraid of you. When you go on your job, the enemy should be afraid. When you go to your house, the enemy should be afraid. Anywhere you go as a saint and a child of God, the enemy should be afraid. Yes. Isaiah 54:17 tells us that no weapon formed against us shall prosper, and any tongue that rises up against us shall be condemned. So you see, the enemy should be trembling in his boots and not the other way around. Luke 10:19 also says, behold, I give you the power to tread on serpents and scorpions and over all the power of darkness and the enemy, and nothing shall by any means hurt you. So why are you afraid? Why are you afraid when you have the power in your hands? You have the power in your hands. He's already given it to you. So use the power that you have. So you see now, the king comes running to Rahab's house, looking for these men. He wanted to kill them first before they were able to go back to their warriors and come up with a plan. You see, the enemy realizes that once you come to spy out the land, he is in trouble. Because it means that you're going to overthrow him. It means that you're going to come up with a plan and overthrow him. And that's how it is with us in the church. We allow the devil to get the better part of us. We allow him to keep us divided. Divided, we're weak. There is strength in unity. Yes. So if we allow the devil now to keep us divided and he's killing our individual ministries, he's not allowing us to come together in full force, because he knows that once the saints get on one accord, that he will lose the battle. Leviticus 26:8 says that 5 of you will chase 100. And 100 of you will chase 10,000, and your enemies will fall by the sword before you. Yes. But we're allowing the enemy to get the better part of us. Now Rahab and all the town people, they have already heard of the strength of Israel's fighting. So they were afraid. They heard how God opened the Red Sea. They heard how they defeated the kings and destroyed the cities. So even the king of Jericho was afraid. But we see in the story that Rahab, she has a family. She has a father, brothers and sisters. And this one act of kindness shown by Rahab put all of them in danger. But on the other side, the same act of kindness, it also saved their lives. You see, just because Rahab was a prostitute, that didn't stop her from being kind. No. Just because she was a prostitute, that didn't stop her from looking out for her family. No. You see, Rahab believed in her heart. She confessed with her mouth, and then she acted. She acted by faith and saved her and her family's life. Yes. You see, just because Rahab was a prostitute, it didn't stop the spies from looking out for her before they attacked. What is stopping you today? What is stopping us today from being all that God has called us to be? What is stopping you today from doing what God has called you to do? Are you allowing the names that people put on your backs, are you allowing that to hinder you from moving forward in God? Are you allowing it to hinder your progress and your growth in God? Are you allowing it to stop you from serving God? Some of us, we take these things so seriously. Someone calls us a name that we don't like, and we roll up in a shell, and we don't want to do anything anymore because we are afraid of what others will say. You see, what you are doesn't determine who you are.
That's it.
The name that people put on you doesn't determine who you are.
No.
It doesn't determine who you are.
No.
You are fearfully and wonderfully made.
Yes.
The Bible also tells us that we can do all things through Christ who gives us strength.
Yes. Yes.
So why focus on the things and the names that others put on us? One of the lessons we learned in the story is how Rahab took care of her family, her loved ones. The ones that she loved, she laid down her life for them. You see, she didn't matter. She didn't care how it looked. But she stepped out in faith. She knew that God had given the Israelites the city to conquer. And she knew that Jericho was going to lose the battle against God. So what did she do? She aligned herself and her family with the plan of God. Rahab's faith and her conviction gave her the courage to look death in the face and live.